How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here. I hope you guys are all having a great day. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys have not already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all, hit the bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on my channel. Also, if you guys would head over to Twitch, follow me there at Douglas447. I stream there at least once a week. And we're going to be talking about Fast and Furious 9, also called F9, the Fast Saga. And we're just going to talk about positives and negatives. This review will have some spoilers. There's really nothing in this film majorly to spoil. Character resurrections like Hans being back from the dead, it's on the posters, it's in all of the advertising for the trailers and such, and it's been all over social media. So just letting you know, I'm going to be talking about some plot points in this film review. So if you don't want to be spoiled about anything else besides the fact that Hans is magically back from the grave, this is your time to turn away, go watch the movie, and then come back. So I was really hoping that this movie was going to be better than 8, because I felt like with the fate of the Fast and Furious, aka FF8, the series kind of was getting repetitive and it was losing sight of what made the Fast and Furious movies special. I felt like 7 was a good ending. 8 was really just continuing on, trying to act like Paul Walker was still around, even though he's not. This movie, I'm happy that they're ending with 11, that they're doing a 10 and 11, and that they kind of have a roadmap, and that I'm happy that they're being able to understand that they need to end making these films. Because this movie isn't better than 9. This movie isn't better than 8. This movie is worse. I don't know how they were able to do it, but it's like ever since 7, these movies have gone down here. This film also is not a Fast and Furious movie. This is more of a superhero Avengers film with comedy moments constantly involving high-speed cars. This film has lost all sense of reality, and if you have any knowledge of physics, this movie completely ignores them 100%. This film, though, is entertaining, and it is very funny, and it's a good film to see on the big screen. However, this film has lost what made the Fast and Furious film series great. It has lost what made the film great. The family aspect in this movie is bad. The action sequences are dumb. The villains or villain that's in this movie we've seen from the past movie. And the danger and the stakes and the life and death situations in this movie are either non-existent or you just don't care. The family aspect is reduced to a brother revenge plot. The action is so unbelievable. Characters are just invincible to death and injuries. They just act like superheroes. There's no new or old villain characters that do anything that threaten our heroes' lives. Like in the past films, I felt like a character could possibly die, and at times characters do die. But in this film, I'm like, okay, they're playing it for jokes, so everyone's going to be safe from all sorts of death and danger. I never thought anyone of importance was going to die in this movie, and that is bad. I did enjoy the flashbacks that explained deeper as to how and why Dom's dad died in a race, and we got to see some old characters from the first Fast and Furious movie appear, but younger, using CGI, so that was pretty cool. I love seeing DK and the others from the Tokyo Drift movie. And let's get into one of the biggest points of this film that is really dumb. The film tries to explain how Hans is back from the dead and that he didn't die in Tokyo Drift. But it doesn't explain it perfectly. I'm not sure why they needed it to bring him back. because it feels forced. Like, I know a lot of people like Hans as a character from Tokyo Drift, but I really wish that he stayed dead. His return was forced for a subplot. Like, they could have had any other character do what he does in this film, and the movie would still be the same. Like, Hans being back was just fan service, and I mean, I like Tokyo Drift. I never really cared for Hans as a character because he really didn't do all that much. I just don't understand why they had to bring him back. Like, I get they're trying to make it like it's the Fast and Furious movies, and Tokyo Drift is a part of that. But when a character dies, just leave him dead. Han's resurrection in this film, for the sake of him being back, almost feels like the Emperor coming back in Rise of Skywalker. It's just felt forced, and it's like, okay, you never had a road map. You never had a plan to bring this character back from the grave. Why did you do it? Fan service, because you're running out of ideas, clearly. Also, if you rewatch Tokyo Drift and Furious 6 and 7, this movie trying to explain how Hans didn't die still doesn't make sense. Like, how they explain it is just like magic. There is a mid post credit scene, so if you guys do end up watching this in the theaters or getting it on digital or on Blu-ray, just keep that in mind, because this film feels like a big setup for 10 and 11. It feels like a big setup for 10 and 11, and it also feels like a fan service celebration of what's come before. So it's like a celebration of Fast 1 through 8 and Hobbs and Shaw, while also setting up 10 and 11. I did like the ending of the film where it paid respect to Paul Walker and that his character Brian is still alive in the universe. So really enjoyed that factor. This is a good character film, sorta. It really focuses on characters more, but this film lost me in the action sequences. The action sequences in this movie are silly, they're illogical, and they just make no sense. The film doesn't drag, it's pretty good pacing, it's almost 2.5 hours long, and I was happy that it didn't drag. You're entertained, you're never bored in this film. Like I said, this movie is a comedy. My favorite joke in this movie was the one about Yoda. If you haven't seen the film, I don't want to spoil this Yoda joke, but I'm sure it's going to get mean to death online, so just keep that in mind. They also decided to kill off Mr. Nobody, played by Kurt Russell. And they kill his character off screen. We never see how, or a body, or a funeral for this character. He's just told to the audience that he's been killed. There's also an overabundance of shaky camera fights, and there came a point where it's like, okay, I had to close my eyes because it was hurting my eyes how much shaky cam was in some of the fist fights in this film. The villain, Cypher from Fast and Furious 8, is still alive, and she does nothing except for sit around, have a magical wardrobe change, and she sits in a VR chair and controls a drone. Literally, that is the extent of her being in this film, which just goes to show that they really don't know what to do with certain characters, and she really needed to just be captured or killed off in 8. I really would encourage you guys to go into this film with very low expectations. If you go plan to see this film, go in with low expectations. Let's talk about Jacob, which is Dom's brother in this film. He goes from being this evil brother on a revenge plot to a good brother. The switch is so fast from bad to good. Like, I knew it was going to happen at the beginning of the film. It was very predictable. And when it does happen, it just doesn't have any impact on you because there's so much happening on screen. And when it does happen, it's predictable, yet the film makes it where it's like, okay, I guess this could happen. But the believability in it happening like it does on screen is just bad. It felt forced. It didn't feel like a natural progression from going from bad to good. Like, the other people are just like, okay, we don't like you, we're just going to backstab you, and now he's all of a sudden on the good side. Also, there's no explanation as to why Jacob wants to use this satellite weapon. and programmed to control the world powers. Like, there's no explanation as to why Jacob is a bad guy in this movie whatsoever. Like, there's no motivation established. There's nothing that gets us invested as to why we should care about why he's a bad guy. Honestly, guys, watch this movie once. It's easily forgettable. I'm not going to remember this movie. I like the first 7, and with 10 and 11 already planned, with rumors of a Jurassic Park or a Transformers crossover, I don't care anymore about this franchise. I stopped caring after 7. I thought 8 was okay, but now 9 kind of is like the nail in the coffin. 10, I bet you, is going to be, Fast and Furious with race wars on the moon, and 11's going to have time travel where Dom fights a T-Rex. Like, the Fast and Furious movies always had a certain level of believability and absurdity to them, but I think after 7, the absurdity has taken over, and now it's just become a joke of a series. So with that, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.